Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be getting ourselves an applied energistics system set up. So I hope you guys are ready. So here we are back at our mob farm. Yes, this is a totally different one than the one we left off with. I basically just took one of the giant columns and then rebuilt the mob farm. And now withers are actually being able to be farmed in here. I did, however, run into an issue with blazes. So the way I figured to get rid of the blazes was to use cryothium. So there's a layer of cryothium just right above where the wither skeleton skull heads are. And that's kind of what I went with. But you can already see that right here, we are getting some of these magma creams. And you may think, oh, that's annoying having magma creams down there. Really, it's not annoying at all. Because magma cream later on can be used to make magma blocks, and later on could be used to make some other things. If I remember correctly, I think the focus sash prevents you from catching on fire. If I remember, I don't know, or it makes you stronger or something like that. But either way, this will still help you get netherrack later on. So super nice farm. It's a passively generated farm. You can see that sometimes you'll get snowmen that'll spawn, and it's the blazes are being converted into snowmen, and they'll end up dying, which is great. So I've been able to farm quite a few wither skeleton skulls off of this just by standing here. And not to mention that this is also a public farm. So if you're on the server and you're messing around here, all you gotta do is /warp mob farm, and you're able to come here too and farm. That's why I put some trash cans down, just in case you get some junk like wither ash that you don't really want. You just dump that all out and it'll just be deleted, and you can continue farming until you get your inventory full and you go back to your base. So I think that's going to work out great, especially for the community, and you know, something I like to contribute to. You know, here we go. So let's get on with today's video, and we're going to continue our progression. So I think today is going to be the perfect day for us to jump into applied energistics and get ourselves a neat network setup. I would prefer to have a network setup. As you can see down here, I have kind of changed a few things. I've been working on some more steel. Of course, we do have enough steel for today's episode, so that's going to be perfect. Eventually, we're going to have these machines upgraded. And also, we saved some room over here, so we have some room potentially for our applied energistics system, which might actually go right here. Perfect. That, or it's going to go here, which we have a jumble mess. I do have plans on extending and building up walls on some of these things, even though I do love the open sky. So that is something that we have to look at. But I kind of have a list of things over here bookmarked that we are going to need to focus on if we are going to be able to get into applied energistics today. We might be able to get the basics set up and then work on getting a crafting terminal and things like that set up in the future. So for right now, the first thing we need to be able to even think about doing this is getting ourselves into thermal expansion and getting into this basic energetic infuser. So if you take a look here, the energetic infuser is going to be able to create charged Certus quartz. It's actually one of the only ways to make charged Certus quartz. So let's go ahead and focus on this. Whoa! Okay, so right off the bat, we already have another machine crafting thing that we have to do. And for this, we are going to need some clear glass. So I did go ahead and work on some glass here. And I'm only going to use 16 for this right now. But we do need to actually go over here and get ourselves our casting basin out, which is right here. We can go ahead and throw the glass in. I'm not quite sure how much it is to fill up the casting basin with the glass to make the clear glass. That is something I'm not quite sure. I guess it's 1 block. Oh, so it's 1 to 1. So literally 1 block is going to make clear glass. Shouldn't take too long. So that's going to be the main part. So let's go ahead and start working on some of the other stuff. It does say that we are going to need 16 blocks of steel and 16 blocks of iron. Iron, really easy. We have 7 million EMC at this point, just from me playing around. So we can go ahead and make some iron. Now the steel is where it gets a little bit more difficult. I do, however, have a bit of steel, so that should sort of level out there. Let's go ahead and grab this. Was it 14? I think 16. So here we are at our lovely miniaturization field. And it says it's a 4x4, and I hope that this works inside here like this. Ah, it does. So it's kind of weird that it was a 4x4 recipe, but I mean, it works. As long as we get what we need, which is perfect. This guy. Now there's some other things we're going to have to go about working on, and that is, you need these redstone wire coils. Luckily, I have a chest over here dedicated specifically to redstone or immersive engineering wiring, because that is a big thing that we have to deal with. So most of this is just going to be us getting into silver, gold, and that's about it. I do have some copper. I did go ahead and make some gears. We do have gears on all of the fronts here. I believe another gear we're going to need is lead. Might as well grab all those, because we're definitely going to need them. This is going to be the main tipping point for this pack, I feel. Getting Applied Energistics set up, that's going to be where it's at. So silver on these, 2 of those. Gold here. We don't have gold, not in our chest. Our chest is getting kind of full at this point, so I don't really blame it there. And last but not least, an energetic infuser, basic. Right, so how are we going to power this? Well, I'm just going to place it right here. I think right there on our power source. And then the thing that's going to go in there is going to be our Certus. Because we are going to need a bunch of that to be charged up. I should be able to throw a stack, and I think these will stack as charged. Once this begins its process, it should stack as charged. I hope, anyways. Oh, these must have been unlinked somehow. Anyways, I need to grab my wand. Relink them. They definitely need to be linked to the proper... Oh, they're linked now. What is going on? We have like beams that are shooting all over the place. Unless that's a visual glitch. Look at that. There's literally beams shooting all over the place. Maybe it's if this thing is completely full, but I don't think so. What is that thing doing? So, getting started with any applied energistics system always starts off with some charged Certus quartz, nether, and rack and redstone. That will get you the purple goodness. Look at all that. Look at all that purpley flux goodness. Or fluix. Fluix, not flux. I have my reading, man. Anyways. We're going to take this fluix crystal, and we're going to have to dive into applied energistics a little bit. So, some of the things we're going to need is an energy inscriber. That's going to require a little bit of quartz glass. Luckily, I did go ahead and have some nether quartz grind up. It is better to have it done in the sag mill. Also, I did upgrade my alloy smelter. I really need to upgrade my sag mill. That's going to be soon. I've also decided to use Alchemical Field now that we have a better EMC source. So, glass. That's what we were working on. And yes, we are going to need to make a bit of this quartz glass, as it is used actually quite a lot. I'm going to make a stack of it. And we're going to start focusing on like the energy acceptor. This is something we definitely need. We can't really do much without the energy acceptor, as we need a source of RF to power this energy acceptor. The energy acceptor is going to convert RF into AE2 power. All right, so now that we have that, we can start focusing on some other things. Inscribers. Inscribers are going to be very important. To be able to make pistons, though, there's a few wacky steps we have to go through. Wood, for example, is going to be one of the things we need, because we need to make hoppers. Or not hoppers, we need to make pistons. So there's one, and I think iron is the other part we're needing because we need rods. And then also, if you noticed, the recipe seems a little bit wonky as well because we need redstone alloys. These are, of course, made in your alloy smelter. Also, you need sturdy stone, which is going to be stone and cobblestone. It's funny because I actually remember using that. I think it's a quark recipe for the sturdy stone. And it's kind of like making you craft more is all it really does. So there we go. We have some more sturdy stone. I'm going to, however, make as many pistons as I possibly can. So 3. I'm just missing, I think, some redstone alloy. There we go. And I have, of course, a bunch more redstone alloy there. Because I really want to make as many of these as I can. when it comes to like pistons and inscribers. The more you have, the easier it's going to be on you later on. So now that we have the pistons, turn them into sticky pistons. We need some slime. There we go. And 10 will be perfect. That'll give us 5 inscribers. I think that's going to be way more than enough. 5 inscribers is going to seem perfect. Awesome. I'm going to also need some of this. Quartz fibers and glass. That's going to get us some cables to be able to power our equipment. And there we go. We have ourselves some Emmy cable. So, all in all, the setup for this is going to... should work out for us. Now, right now, I am using the energy lasers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the energy lasers. I'm going to place this here. Place my inscribers down. Of course, I'm going to move these around here shortly. But this is basically how everything is going to be powered through this mod. Our inscribers here are just going to be examples. Now, we need to get power. So I'm thinking about making some more energy lasers. I think those use advanced. Because they can be connected all through your base, which is really cool. Yes, they use advanced coils. And how many do I have? 4? 4 should be enough to reach. So we need obsidian and redstone. That's about it. And we have energy lasers that's going to get power all through our base. Ah, and redstonia. Almost forgot. We're almost out of that. Perfect. Get ourselves some good energy lasers. Look at that. We actually had enough. Oh yeah, it gives you 4. I forgot about that. Use our laser wrench. And this is a pretty decent way to send power through your base. I'm actually going to put another node here. And I should be able to go underneath and link everything up accordingly. Doesn't matter which direction or how you link things up, just as long as they're linked. And I think linking there, it can actually split into multiple directions as well. So this should be able to link to this. And this should have power. And these should accept the power, I believe. It shows 0, but it should be getting power. Unless this is just not letting power go anywhere. They should totally have some power. It shows these will show 0 power, but it should work. The only way to do this is to test it out. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be an engineer's workbench. We can't really do anything without this guy. So we'll need some treated sticks. Actually, we can probably just make everything right here. Treated sticks will make this treated wood fence. We are going to need a crafting table. And voila, an engineer's work table. And I'll plop that guy down right here. We are going to, however, need blueprints. And hopefully we have some of that. I'm going to grab some lapis. 3 of those. And we are going to need paper. Looks like we have some. So what is this used for? Well, this is going to be used for making these blueprints. And we need a metal press mold, which can require steel plates, or a steel plate. Pretty simple here. Just take one of our hammers, and we'll make a steel plate. Perfect. Boy, our inventory got full quick. So yeah, pretty much just make this top one here, and that's what we're going to need moving forward. When we place this on here, we get this cool little draped blueprint table going on. Also, we should be able to make, I believe, item frames. This is a really cool trick as well. You can actually take item frames, place them on a wall or something, and let's say this blueprint, for example, you want to place in an item frame. When you do that, it converts the item frame into like a blueprint that's actually on the wall. And look at this. We can like see each one of the patterns when we right click on it. I think that's kind of cool. But over here you can see we do have some inscribers that are a part of this. And it tells you we need Iridium Plates and Engineer's wire cutters. So, Iridium Plates, we have wire cutters right here. And Iridium. It's actually the same for all of them. The Iridium recipe. So we should be able to take this and convert all their iridium ingots. I believe we can convert these into plates. We might need a stamping press now that I look at it. Or, let's see. Iridium plate. It's probably gonna require us to, cast it out. So this is not gonna be hard. To make a cast, very simple. Literally, we can just make an iron cast and some gold, and I'll go ahead and get that casted out. So while we work on everything else, we should be able to also take some quartz or some, is it crystal? Yeah. Some Certus quartz, and we need to make some pure versions of this stuff. Also, I would say pure versions of nether quartz, but it's not as important. Certus is actually pretty important, so making sure you get some of this ground down, because you're going to need this pure Certus quartz later on that you combine this with sand. And we need to actually start working on the growth crystal as well. So we should probably be able to get that done. I'm going to probably go with 4 of them. I think that should be enough. These growth crystals accelerators. Usually I go with 5, but it's not that important that you have that many. We will, however, need our water amulet. So I believe it's called an amulet. Evertide, right here. When we have our chest built like this, it's so hard to find things. So what we can do back here is do the same thing. We'll just apply this like so. Remove our torch. We'll place that somewhere else. Like this. And I think this will allow it to connect. These don't seem to be on. So I'm almost concerned, not knowing if this energy acceptor is accepting power from here. But will it accept power from something like this generator? Because it should. That should totally accept power from here. Because this should be piping energy into this. Let me see. I think the wrench might have some settings. Both directions. We need a compass for this. So a good old-fashioned compass. Redstone. I guess I could probably just make it by hand. And the compass will allow us to change some of the stuff, I hope. Nope. We have world edit in here, so it won't let me work. Won't let it work. Okay. Well, this still should work. I was just fooling myself. It's totally powering this. As you can see, it's definitely being powered. Which is great. Great news. Okay. So, now that I know that, I can go ahead and place my water in here. And that is really going to be helping out. So these should definitely be working. I love my ring. Look at this. Get out of here. Okay. So I'm almost wondering, is it because this is powering it? No, it shouldn't matter. It's because of this. Okay. Perfect. Let's head on over here. And we should have our plates. So what we can do, take our plates now and our clippers. And we can make all of the different inscriber plates. So I'm going to place, I guess, I'll do these in the order I normally like to do them. Logic. And then we'll do the, I do the silicon. Then I do the logic. I do the calculation and engineering. Is the engineering the diamond? Yes. So calculation, then diamond over here. Now at first, these are not going to be automated whatsoever. There's ways to automate them. And I believe a hopper is going to be the best way to do that. For right now, we have to do it manually. And I think, if I remember correctly, I can rotate these. And that's going to be the helpful way to do this. But I do want to make sure these are getting power. These are working. Let's grab a diamond. Let's check. Diamond over here. Throw that in. And there we go. So these are functioning. These are working perfect. That's going to speed up, and there we go. So let's go ahead and get the last bit that we need done, and that is the Certus quartz over here. We're going to need sand for this. take this and combine it with that, and we're going to get ourselves some seeds. And that's where this growth accelerator is going to help. Now, I think AE stuff is in here. So, the advanced inscriber is going to be what we're going to upgrade to really soon. And we have multiple advanced inscribers. So keep that in mind. This mod is in here. The growth accelerator mod is in here as well from AE2 stuff. The wireless connector is beautiful. I love this thing. But for right now, this is what we have. We're definitely going to work on this thing. Definitely making the advanced inscriber. This is a super powerful tool. So I'm going to need 2 engineering processors to do that. And we already have one. So let's go ahead and make another one. Also, we need to take this nether quartz. And it needs to be smelted down. So furnace mode. Smelt this. And that's going to give us the silicone we're going to need. I hope I haven't... I think I've used all of it. So literally whatever we get from here is what we have. Total. And redstone, we should have everything. So literally just need to make the last processor. Over here is the one for the silicone. And we throw the diamond in. So I am super stoked to be able to... I'm super stoked that AE2 stuff is in here. Oh, because that makes life so much easier. It really does. And this one's going to be our main processing unit. So we can throw redstone in here. We'll throw the printed silicon and this in here. And that's going to combine together, and that's going to get us the advance that we're going to need. Oh, that's perfect. Same for over here. Last one. Oh, right here. Throw that in with that and redstone. And we're able to make the advanced inscriber. Applied Energistics flying by like it's nothing. Love it. All right, so let's go ahead and take one of these for now. It's actually going to make this super fast once we just get one of these done. Was it hoppers too that we needed? I'm pretty sure it required 2 hoppers. Yeah. And some iron. If I remember correctly, I think this... I still think this requires AE power. Yes, if I remember correctly, it does require AE power. But it is way better because you can now take the... Oh, by the way, did it come with... When we broke the inscriber, did it stay with the inscriber? Oh my gosh, I think it did. Oh wait, no, they didn't have one in there. I was thinking it had a press in there. I was like, oh wait, no. So, now we should be able to make this fully automated. So I just throw that in there and we can throw stacks in there. So say I have 31 here, I can now just throw it in there and just leave it be, and it's going to build up in here. This is way better. You have no need to just automate this directly. You can automate it a lot easier, but no more do you need to have to worry about it and babysit it. You just let it go. Oh, this is so good. So at this point, we are pretty much about to get into full-on applied energistics. Really, the only other thing left to do is to make myself an Emmy Drive. I mean, we have the ability to make an Emmy Drive. I mean, you don't necessarily need to make one right off the bat, but it is pretty good to have an Emmy Drive instead of using like an Emmy storage, which can only hold 1 drive. So Emmy Drive, let's go ahead and make you. There we go. So that's one part of this setup. Of course, this is on its own network. We are going to, of course, put it on a separate network. Because, of course, you know how Applied Energistics works. It only has up to 8 channels on your base setup. And there's no way we're making the core or the controller right yet. The crafting recipe for the Emmy controller is one that is going to take a bit of time to create, as you can see here. It is, I mean, it's not too bad, but definitely a lot of electrical steel, a lot of things. I think just having an Applied Energistics system, your base system, is going to be great. And you don't need very many channels for it. It's actually a very clean and simple process to make. So, now that we have this, I do need an energy cell. Energy cell is going to help with that little buffering when we go to start putting items in and taking items out. You can run into an issue where you just run out of power. Because if you're running directly from the Acceptor, you're going to have some issues. You do need a little bit of a buffer, and that's where the energy cell comes in handy. And then we also need, of course, a terminal. The terminal is how we're going to be able to see everything. So I've already made some illuminated panel. We will need formation cores, which are going to require logic processors and some Certus quartz, which I have all that. I think the only thing I'm missing is some logic processors, which I've made a few over here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the rest of these logic processors over here to be made, because logic processors are going to be a big part of making our first storage system. Perfect. Awesome. So let's go ahead and make the crafting, which we're going to need just a regular Emmy terminal. So let's make an annihilation core and a formation core, which requires the fluix dust to be crushed. And then we need to just apply those together. We get an Emmy terminal. We need to make a crafting table, which will just be just like that. And apply that with the calculation processor. And we get ourselves an Emmy terminal. The calculation, of course, comes from the pure Certus quartz, which we ended up getting from there. And you can see right here, we've already made a few of them. So, with that done, we're only missing one thing to get this thing up and running. And that's just a drive. So, to make the drive, redstone, I would like to make a few of them. Of course, probably clearing out my inventory a little bit would also help. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's clear up most of my inventory, except for the things that we're definitely going to need. And that is logic processors. And a few other things. Let's also grab out the main blocks that we're going to need to craft our grid. So yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, we don't need the annihilation cores. Okay. So if we head back over here. Oh, I guess we ran out of our stuff. Oh no, I ended up throwing... I was like, why can't I fly anymore? That's right. I threw my Klein star out. Oh man, derpy me. Alright, so let's go ahead and make some of these drives. So redstone and some of that quartz glass. I think the glass is actually stored in here. Yes, the glass. So redstone, just a bit of that. And we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and make this. What is hitting me? Oh no! We got a zombie villager. I should tame him with a golden apple. I should have thought about that. No, too late now. So let's finish this up. Okay, we're gonna need Certus quartz, which I did have over here. Perfect. I don't want to use the pure because that's used for some other stuff. All right. I think we're about ready to make this thing. So 1K, and that's gonna get. So I believe this thing has 2, 4, 6. So you want 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we have enough for 10 of these. I'm just gonna do 10 1Ks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we go. We have 10 of these. This should fill up one drive. And then, of course, we also need to combine them, which is going to require some iron. And that should totally hold all of the stuff, materials and stuff that we've made thus far. So 10 drives. And guys, we are ready to set up an applied energistics system. Oh boy. So I think I'm going to move these. For right now, they do hold their internal storage system. But for right now, all we need is just this like cable here and we're good to go. So let's get this set up. So what we're going to do is we'll have a drive bay. It's going to go right here. And then on top of that is going to be our crafting terminal. Which, actually I might want to take this up like so. And yeah, then put the crafting terminal on it. And there we go. And then we can throw all of our drives in here. And guys, we have an applied energistics terminal that is all set up and looks mighty fine. Look at that. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and actually remove this. I don't know how much we're going to be using this. And also, I do need to break this block because this... Actually, we could probably put it right here. This is going to become our storage for our power with this mod. And that way we don't end up with that weird buffer situation that we might get still, actually, we could probably place this right up against here. Right? Yes. Okay. And then we can hook the cable up. Much better. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually remove the water here. And we're gonna eventually replace these anyways, so it's no big deal to get rid of these now. Perfect. And then back here, we should be able to set up our own separate network for our inscribers. Much like we had. Because this is just power. I believe this doesn't actually affect our network setup. Look at this fella. Trying to bother me. So yeah, place them right back like we had it. And there we go. Guys, we have pretty much an Applied Energistics setup. Oh, I wanted to actually show you this. So, if you want to change the color of your monitor, you can actually dye these cables to different colors. And if we take some red and yellow, or dandelions, I should say. So say we take these and some dandelions, make some orange. We should have enough cable to make some orange cable. And what this will do is actually change the color of our terminal to that color. So if you do want a custom color, just make sure the cable that's hooked to the back of it is the same color. And guys, oh, this is so much better. We can now start storing all of our items. No longer do we need to worry about all of this. We can now store all of our stuff. I do need to make sure my Klein is in here. And guys, we now have an Applied Energistics system that is going to be very clean and easy to craft things out of. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know it may have been a bit complicated, as Applied Energistics can be a little bit complicated, but believe me, this is the easiest part of Applied Energistics. So, I hope you guys learned something. If you did, smack that like button down below, and also subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. You guys have a great day, and as always, thanks for watching.